Hello friends, Cowboy Jobu here with the Jobu Sports Report, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report, because without you guys, we would never reach 8,000. That's right, we're over 8,000, and thank each and every one of you. Well, you know, it's that time for me to check in on the jackasses at First Take. And today, they're asking, is Tony Romo the most underrated quarterback ever? Well, I gotta hear this. Roll the tape.
I literally had the opportunity to continue to keep playing football. I'm choosing not to. So I think that's a pretty easy statement when it comes to what you're doing. I mean, I know the retired word is like this word that all of a sudden people, has 90 different meanings, but it just feels like you're done playing football. You want to call it retired, you want to call it whatever you want. I'm moving on to talking about it. Like I said yesterday, I just don't envision that ever changing.
Is Tony Romo underappreciated? According to an NFL.com piece, the answer is an emphatic yes, arguing that Romo was a fantastic quarterback who never got his proper due. He retires with a career passer rating of 97.1, the fourth best mark in NFL history. He retires as the Cowboys' all-time leader in passing yards and passing touchdowns. Max Kellerman, did you hear those stats I just gave you? Those are some serious facts. Is Romo the most overrated, underappreciated quarterback ever?
Underrated, underappreciated. My good friend Adam Shine from way back in the day wrote that article, and boy, is he shockingly wrong about this. First of all, any player in contemporary football who has a 10-year or so career and is very good is going to set their franchise record for every passing, completion percentage, everything, because the position in the game has evolved. So it favors, statistically, according to those kind of stats, modern quarterbacks. So Tony Romo, very, very good player, played about a decade, recently behind a good offensive line. Of course he's going to have good stats. Now, you could say, but that good? Yes. He was a very good player. Underappreciated, underrated. Look, how is Tony Romo perceived? As a skilled, winning regular season quarterback who was very good, but not elite. No one ever really thought of him as, the elite of that era, or of his era. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, those three guys, and Ben Roethlisberger, you could even say, those 3 or 4 guys. And Romo was never quite put there, but he was put in the next group. Very good. Not quite mythically elite. That's exactly right. Everything I said so far is exactly how he was perceived. It's right on the money. Injury prone, yes. And people who really are paying attention know he wasn't really bad under pressure. He was unlucky. He didn't hold the snap the one time, and 2 playoff wins out of 6 tries. Oh, okay, so that's almost 500. A ball bounces this way or that way. He could have even been 4 out of 6 if things bounced his way. He was unlucky and injury prone. How is that underrating him? Or underappreciating him. It's appreciating him precisely as he was. Now, there are other ways to check to see if he's underappreciated. How is he paid? He was paid as a top franchise quarterback. He wasn't underappreciated in terms of how he got paid, and how is he treated in the media? As soon as he retired, literally on that day, a broadcast network boots Phil Simms, the incumbent, and replaces him with Tony Romo. Now,
I think that just goes to him being overrated, though.
Well, right, okay, we can get into that. But underrated, the fact is those broadcast network jobs are reserved, especially when you have 0 TV experience, for Hall of Famers and Super Bowl winners. Romo will never be in the Hall of Fame, and he hasn't won a Super Bowl. So my friend Adam Shine is out of his mind here. If anything, he's rated correctly and overappreciated in the media.
He's definitely overrated and overappreciated. And it's not because I don't think that he was a very good quarterback, because I've said many times, being in a different place, Tony Romo's career is different and perceived different, because I believe he was good enough to win championships. He had opportunities where he wasn't unlucky. He just didn't make the plays. But I feel like given a better team in some situations, Tony Romo could lead you to a Super Bowl. You don't have to always be part of that elite group. We've seen Joe Flacco catch fire. We've seen Eli strike lightning in the bottle twice and have great whatever. I don't even want to get into that conversation with you. But
Ryan, he's not even the most underrated quarterback in the NFC East, let alone underrated quarterback of all time. That's Eli Manning, the most underrated in the NFC East.
How, Max? How? Tell me how.
Two-time Super Bowl MVP.
Whatever. We talk about Eli as possibly being in the Hall of Fame. Some people already have him there. He's not a Hall of Fame quarterback. So Eli is just as overrated as Tony Romo is. And when you look at Tony Romo's career, though, and some of the plays he's made, we love him because he made the improv play. He made the unscheduled play. He made the unwritten play where he would get out of the pocket and throw these balls down the field. I enjoyed watching Tony Romo play. And in preparing for Tony Romo, if we're going to mention Eli Manning, you were much more nervous going into a week playing Tony Romo than you were Eli Manning. But for Tony Romo, while we were playing, to be questioning, as well as Dak Prescott played last year, to question should Dak Prescott continue being the starting quarterback shows how we in the media overrate Tony Romo and how those in the Dallas Cowboy organization and in Dallas overrate Tony Romo, because it shouldn't have been a discussion, because he hadn't done the things recently or he never made the plays in the big moments that said with a young rookie playing that well, we should be discussing him to come back and take the starting position, as you would have to do what wouldn't be discussion, as Tom Brady would do, as Aaron Rodgers would do, as Ben Roethlisberger would do, as Matt Ryan would do. Those people have played in ways that earned them that type of respect, that type of opportunity. Recently in his career, Tony Romo hadn't. Over his career in the big moments, Tony Romo hadn't. So it showed the way that we perceived him and overrated him. And I also feel the same for TV. People ask me, when I was doing this job, when I was interning while still playing football, when I was working here in summers in between OTAs and mini camps and these different things, would I do games? And I said, no, I'm not doing games. Why? Because I didn't want to be, and nothing against Jacksonville, but I didn't want to be in Jacksonville at 12 o'clock doing the Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars on the D team on a network.
Oh,
why?
You're bougie.
Because those jobs are hard to get. Nah, Molly, I just like sitting in here with you at a good time when everybody's watching.
You just didn't want to work your way up from the bottom.
Right. Doing that job, if you don't have, like you said, Max, if you don't have the Hall of Fame, if you're not a quarterback with a Super Bowl, you don't get those plus jobs. So for Tony Romo, and I'm not saying he's not going to be good at it, for Tony Romo to get that job, to boot a Super Bowl winning
you were aware of what it would be for you. It's still a Super Bowl champion.
Right, it's still a Super Bowl. That's a tough job to get. So it shows how people have perceived him throughout his career, and God bless him, good for him. I want everybody to get their money and do what they want to do. That shows how he has been perceived is overrated to what he produced on the field, even though he had a great career.
Ryan, you mentioned he never did the things like Tom Brady or Ben Roethlisberger or Drew Brees in the big moments. You mean like Eli Manning in the big moments? Just curious.
Okay.
Yeah.
We might have to address that a little bit later.
Yeah, we need another topic for that, Max. Do that tomorrow or something.
All right, let's leave it there.